Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 18th April 2022. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see today's quote. So today's quote is given by Swami Vivekananda. So quote is, "Arise, awake and stop not until the goal is reached." So as you all know, UPSC journey is a very long. So in this journey, you are going to discover yourself. You are going to understand your weakness, your strength. So where you are weak and where you are strong, and that will be also helpful to make you mature as well. So in this long journey, so please try to arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. So let us try to see first topic. It is regarding IMD Forecast. So in yesterday's lecture, we studied introduction regarding this recent IMD forecast of monsoon. And now let us try to see this topic in detail. So this topic is important from your GS paper 1 under geography. So this article is important. So now, why it is in news? Because here recently IMD, that is India Meteorological Department, which came up with a forecast. And this forecast said that we are going to have normal monsoon this year, or we can say 99% of this long period average of 87 centimeters. Okay, so long period average of 87 centimeters of rainfall, that is mainly forecasted by IMD this year. So actually IMD has a multi-stage monsoon forecast system. So this forecast will be released in the month of April, okay, and sometimes it will be also released in during each monsoon month, okay. So in this monsoon, after starting of this monsoon, so we can see that this winds which mainly hit the coast of Kerala on June 1st. Okay, so this is the coast of Kerala. So the winds, that is southwest monsoon winds, they will be hitting this coast of Kerala on June 1st. So after once this monsoon had been started, so we will be getting from IMD. Okay, so at that time IMD will be giving you forecast like whether there is high rainfall or low rainfall or low side or evenly distributed rainfall or not. So this is the thing that will be given in this monsoon time. So IMD usually shares this in late May or early June. So in early June or late May, so IMD will be sharing this forecast just around the time of monsoon is imminent over Kerala, and the forecast in April is thus only general indicator that of little public utility. So whenever IMD which is coming up with forecast during this monsoon season means, so it will be like having some negative impact on Kerala, because they will be not knowing what is going to happen, right? So whenever we are having this forecast in the April means that will be a general indicator for the public. And a normal monsoon forecast this year is also predicted that there is absence of El Nino. There is no El Nino. So I know I already explained about this El Nino and La Nino in our earlier videos, right? So here no El Nino means there will be no negative impact. So we can expect there is a La Nina. So La Nina, it is a normal monsoon phenomena or a good monsoon phenomena that we are going to have. So whenever there is El Nino like phenomena means that will be having less rainfall in India, okay. So because of some changes. So if you're talking about El Nino and La Nina, here we have, okay, here we have Australia and here we have South America. So normally here we can see high pressure will be there in the coast of this South America, and in this Australia we will be having low pressure. So according to this PGF pressure gradient force, here winds will be moving from high pressure to low pressure. So whenever winds are moving from high pressure to low pressure, they will be bringing enough amount of moisture and that will be giving you rainfall, right? So this is a phenomena which is seen in normal monsoon season or La Nina. So what happened in this El Nino? We can see here low pressure will be created and here high pressure will be created, and the wind starts moving in opposite direction. So it will be have some impact on the Indian monsoons. So whenever there is a forecast like no El Nino means we are going to expect a good monsoon in India, okay. And even there is one more parameter we need to know, that is Indian Ocean Dipole. So here Indian Ocean Dipole also we are seeing a positive phase of this Indian Ocean Dipole, such that we can expect there will be the good rains, okay, good rains in this monsoon season. So what is this Indian Ocean Dipole? So positive IOD, which mainly refers warmer western basin of Indian Ocean compared to that of eastern basin. So if you see, this is our Indian Ocean region. So here we can see warmer and here we can see cooler. So winds which mainly moving here in this direction. So after crossing this equator, they will be moving towards or deflecting towards right because of this Coriolis force, and we are expecting that whenever there is a positive Indonesian dipole means we are going to have a good monsoons. And IMD, that is Indian Meteorological Department, has changed the definition of LPA, long period average. Okay, so if you are talking about this long period average, which is an indication of average rainfall over 50 years of interval. So it is mainly talking about average of 50 years of interval, and it is as per the norms of World Meteorological Organization. Actually, India is signatory to that, and we are mainly updating our definition every 10 years. That is, for every 1 decade, we are going to change that definition. Okay, so if you are talking about this IMD, which mainly stuck with this LPA number of 89 centimeters, that is from 1951 to 2000, and until 2018, which mainly updated. Okay, it was updated to 88, and later on we came with a recent update of 87 centimeters. So for every 1 decade, there is decreasing of 1 centimeter of rainfall that is mainly seen. So what is the reason and what is the explanation given for that by IMD? So IMD mainly explains that loss of a centimeter every decade as part of natural cycle of monsoon, where 30 years of less rain or dry epoch, and it is mainly followed by 30 years of wet epoch. So what happened? So here IMD, which mainly decreased 1 centimeters every decade, because so in natural cycle, so if you are talking about the natural cycle of monsoon, for 30 years, that is for 3 decades, we can see there will be less rainfall, and for the next 3 decades we can see there will be the good rainfall, that is a dry epoch and as well as wet epoch. So because of this, there is decreasing of 1 centimeter of rainfall every decade, because now we are in dry epoch. So India began a dry epoch in 1970 to 80 decade. So this is the thing which mainly IMD says, and we are going to have a neutral phase that we will enter in this 2030 to 2040. So IMD has presented research over the years, and it also came up with documenting the changes in the weather and as well as rainfall that happened in the recent years. Okay, so this is the thing which mainly said. And apart from that, what is the need? The need here is we need to update to average, and IMD must update some processes, and we need to lay stress on shorter forecasters. Okay, and we need to maintain the proper traditions and as well as long range forecast. That will be very much helpful. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding ED, Enforcement Directorate. So this article, it is very important from your GS paper to under polity. So now let us try to understand this topic in a very great detail. So if you are talking about what is this ED, that is Enforcement Directorate. So it is a multidisciplinary organization. So this organization, which mandated with the task of enforcing the provisions of 2 special fiscal laws, that is FEMA. So FEMA stands for Foreign Exchange Management Act, and next one is PMLA, that is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So it is mainly dealing with this FEMA and as well as PMLA. So if we're talking about historical background of this ED, that is Enforcement Directorate, here is the origin, which is mainly dates back to 1956. So at that time, enforcement unit was formed, and it mainly comes under Department of Economic Affairs, and it will be focusing on handling of cases regarding violation of this FERA. At that time it was FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. And later on, if you are talking about 1957, so this unit, which mainly named as Enforcement Directorate, and it mainly comes under the administrative control under Department of Revenue in 1960. For a short period of 4 years, this directorate also remained as under administrative jurisdiction of Department of Personnel and as well as Administrative Reforms. So this is about some brief historical background regarding this Enforcement Directorate. And if you are talking about powers, so it is mainly mandated to enforce 2 laws. First one is FEMA, and next one is PMLA. So this FEMA, it is a civil law which is mainly having quasi-judicial powers, and it is mainly focusing on investigating some suspected contraventions of exchange control laws and as well as regulation with powers to impose penalties, etc. And this Prevention of Money Laundering Act is a criminal law whereby officers are empowered to conduct inquiries, to locate and to provisionally attach or confiscate the assets derived from the acts of scheduled offenses, besides arresting and prosecuting these money launderers. So these are some important functions of this ED. So not only these two laws, but there are also other functions that to be conducted by this ED. So first one is they need to go for processing of case of fugitives from India. So it mainly comes under this Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, for example like Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, like that. And next one is sponsor cases of preventive detention under Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act. Okay, so these are two important other functions. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding National Cyber Security Strategy. So what is a National Cyber Security Strategy status in India? So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under security. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So what is the context? Why we need to talk about this National Cyber Security Strategy? So as you all know, in India there is increasing of cyber security attacks, and mainly to deal with that, central government came up with implementation of National Cyber Security Strategy, and which has been in work since 2020 onwards. So if you're talking about some more details, as per American Cyber Security, which came up with a report, and this report says that Maharashtra state in India, it was most targeted state in India, and this Maharashtra, which is mainly facing about 42% of ransomware attacks. And the report stated that India is among the more economically profitable regions. Okay, so India, it is one of the economically profitable regions for especially hacker groups. So because of this, these hackers, they ask Indian firms to pay ransom, and usually they are using cryptocurrencies such that they can gain access to the data. So this is the idea of this hackers group. And if you're talking about rate of this ransom attacks, so 1 in 4 Indian organizations, they are mainly suffering from this ransom attack in 2021. And Indian organizations, they witnessed 218% of increase in ransomware attacks, and it is a very high when you are comparing with the globally. And for example, if you are talking about software and services, capital goods, public sector, they are some of the most targeted sectors by these hackers. So because of this, there is a need of strengthening of cyber security for sure. So if you are talking about this National Cyber Security strategy here, so actually it is mainly conceptualized by DSCI, that is Data Security Council of India. So it is mainly came up with a 22 pages report, and it is mainly focusing on 21 areas, and whenever we are focusing on these 21 areas, that will be helpful for safe, secure, trusted, resilient, vibrant cyberspace for India. So if you are talking about the main sectors of focus of the report, the first one here is there is a need of large scale digitalization of public services. So there needs to be a focus on security. So what happened, day by day there is increasing of digitalization in the public services. Okay, so because of this, now we need to focus on security as well in the earlier stages of this digitalization initiatives. For example, for developing of capability for assessment, evaluation, certification, rating of core devices, etc. So this is the first important thing that we need. And next one is we need to focus on supply chain security. So there should be a robust monitoring and mapping of supply chain of integrated circuits and electronics products. So in the case of integrated circuits and electronic products, so we need to focus on monitoring and mapping of supply chains, and we need to go for product testing, certification needs to scale up. Okay, and we need to go for country semiconductor design capabilities as well. And next we need to focus on critical information infrastructure protection. So what is the critical information is there? What is the critical infrastructure that we have? So we need to go for protection of those information and protection of those infrastructure. And we are also going for increasing of digital payments as well. So for this, there is a need of mapping and modeling of devices, platform deployed, transacting entities, payment inflows, interfaces, data exchanges, etc. And next one is state level cyber security is also important. So state level cyber security policies and guidelines for security architecture, operations and governance need to be developed. And if you're talking about some suggestions which are given by this report, the first one is, so there is a need of budgetary provisions. Okay, so minimum allocation of about 0.25% of annual budget, which can be raised to 1%. Okay, so actually there is about 0.25% of annual budget we can increase to 1% in the cyber security. If you're talking about different ministries or different agencies, they need to go for 15 to 20% of IT or technology expenditure. And we can also go for creating a fund of funds for this cyber security, and that will help to provide central funding to states and to build capacities or capabilities in the same field. And next one is we need to focus on research, innovation, skill building, technology development, etc. here. And this report, which mainly suggests that investing in modernization and digitization of this ICTs, information communication technology, and we can go for setting up of short and long term agenda for cyber security. So this will be very much helpful. And we need to focus on crisis management. So for adequate preparation to handle crisis, here DSCI also recommends for holding of cyber security drills, and this drills which mainly includes real life scenarios as well. And we can go for tackling of some critical sectors, okay, simulation exercises for cross-border scenarios, etc. And we need to focus on the cyber insurance as well. Cyber insurance being a to be researched field and must have an actuarial science to address cyber security risk in businesses and as well as technology scenarios. So we need to have a proper cyber insurance as well. Okay, and next one is cyber diplomacy. Cyber diplomacy, which will be very much helpful in playing a huge role or important role in shaping of India's global relations. And we need to go for further diplomacy, and government should promote brand India as a responsible player in cyber security and also create cyber envoys. And next one is cyber investigation. So with the increase in this cyber crime across the world, the report recommends unburdening the judicial system. That will be helpful by creating to resolve the spamming and as well as fake news. And it also suggests the charting a 5-year roadmap factoring possible technology transformation and as well as to set up exclusive courts to deal with cyber crimes and remove backlog of cyber crimes by increasing centers and provide opinion related to division evidences under this section 79A of IT Act. And even this DSCI, which also suggests advanced forensic training for agencies to keep in age of AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain technology, IoT and cloud automation. And even this law enforcement and other agencies should partner with their counterparts abroad to seek information of service provider overseas. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding retirement spree in Supreme Court may affect efforts to scale down pendency. So actually one important challenge that we are facing by this judiciary is there is increasing of pendency of cases. And now the context here is the many judges from the Supreme Court, they are going to retire. Okay, so because of this, so whatever the aim that is to decrease the pendency of cases, that is not going to come to true. So here if you see context, it mainly says that retirement of topmost ranks, topmost judges of this judiciary, that is in Supreme Court in 2022, will encompass changes in the powerful Supreme Court collegium and see 2 new Chief Justice in span of months. So if we're talking about details, it mainly says that the retirements come at a time when the court is in the process of steadily itself after particularly brutal waves of pandemic. So after this COVID-19 pandemic, now we are mainly going for again from online mode to offline mode, especially in this judiciary. So at this time, the retirement will be having some negative impact on this pendency of these cases. Supreme Court statistics, which mainly says that about 70,362 cases, they were pending as of date, that is April 1st, 2022. So over 19% of them, they are not ready to be placed before a bench for judicial hearings as they have not completed the required preliminaries. And if you're talking about other judicial process, we have National Green Tribunal 2011, and we also having this National Lok Adalat. So if you're talking about this NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, actually it was set up by a legislation, and it is mainly focused to help the delivering environment related cases. And these tribunals delivered speedy judgment and appeal before the Supreme Court only, and this NGT only retire judges, which is having only retired judges from the Supreme Court and High Court. Okay, they do not so Supreme Court and High Court have higher retiring ages. So here when we are talking about this National Green Tribunal, so actually it is mainly set up by a legislation, and it is mainly focusing on speedy delivery of justice. So what happened here? So if you're talking about the retirement ages, so there is a one question which mainly that will arise here is, so why cannot we increase the retirement ages for these judges of Supreme Court? Because already there is increasing of pendency of cases which is mainly seen, right? So apart from that, we also have this National Lok Adalat. So that this National Lok Adalat also very much helpful for delivering of speedy justice. And we saw like by 2018 there were about 12 lakh cases. They were mainly resolved by this National Lok Adalat, right? And if you're talking about the benefits of the senior judiciary in Supreme Court, so their experience will be helpful for mainly delivering of fast, speedy and unbiased and expeditious judgment, and the litigant or lawyer cannot delay the proceedings by the false claims, and they can train new judges, and that will helpful for reducing the cost of expenditure, and even the pendency of cases will be decreased. Right, so this is about advantages of senior judges in Supreme Court. Now we have to think that why cannot we increase this retirement age for the Supreme Court judges. And next topic, it is regarding BRICS meet. So BRICS meet likely in June, India to attend, China hosted event. So here we need to focus on what is this BRICS. So this article is important from your GS paper to under international relations, and this topic is important from your mains and as well as prelims. So weeks after the visit of Chinese foreign minister to Delhi, so India now agreed to attend this virtual meet of leaders of BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So this meet, it is going to be held in month of June. Actually, the dates of this meet had been not yet confirmed. So if you see details, the dates of the meeting, which will see Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the same platform as Russian President, Chinese President and leaders of Brazil and South Africa for the first time since this Ukraine war began. So after once this Russia-Ukraine war began, so we are going to have this first BRICS summit. Okay, and the dates had been not at all finalized. So they are saying that on June 23rd and 24th we are going to have this summit, but till now there is no confirmation of the final result or the final dates. So if you're talking about India mainly hosted this last year BRICS summit, which was also held virtually and attended by our 5 leaders, that is BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India and as well as China, South Africa. So this is the first summit which mainly hosted by this China, and since the tensions which mainly broke out at this line of actual control as well. So this is also one important thing. So if you're talking about some facts regarding this BRICS, so this BRICS, it is an acronym of grouping of world's leading emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So in 2001, okay, so the British economist Neil coined this term BRIC to describe these 4 emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India and China. So the grouping was formalized during the first meeting of BRICS foreign ministers in 2006. So South Africa was invited to join this BRICS in December 2010, that is 2010. And BRICS, which mainly brings together 5 of the largest developing countries of the world, representing about 41% of global population and 24% of this global GDP and 16% of the global trade. So this is about this BRICS. And now let us try to talk about the next topic. It is regarding UAVs, that is unmanned aerial vehicles near LAC, line of actual control. So if you see, this is the line of actual control and this is line of control. So line of control between India and Pakistan. So line of actual control between India and China. So across this LAC region, we are seeing standoff that is happening since May, April 2020 onwards. So now China started deploying these unmanned aerial vehicles near this LAC. So it is one of cause of concern for India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. So now let us try to see this topic. It is important from this GS paper to under international relations. So if you see context, it mainly says that China continues to expand its unmanned aerial vehicles, that is UAV network, and use in areas close to line of actual control. So in China, which is mainly continues to expand its unmanned aerial vehicle network and also uses in areas which are very much close to line of actual control. So if you see details, it mainly says that there is a significant increase in their use for a variety of tasks from intelligence, surveillance and target acquisition and reconnaissance. Okay, so in these areas we can use this unmanned aerial vehicles, that is simply drones. So what happened, there is increased trend of deployment of this unmanned aerial vehicles by this Chinese army, that is seen in Tibet and as well as along this LAC region. So the efforts were mainly made to cover all important locations, places in this UAV net for better patrolling and other related activities. So they are using this drones for mainly better patrolling and as well as other related activities. And China is also increasingly deploying in its advanced UAVs in Tibet close to LAC region. So this is the one more official data. So in addition to the drones, they had been used, actually these drones, they are mainly used for supplying of vaccines in the border areas for effective last mile coverage at several locations, especially opposite to this Arunachal Pradesh. So if you are talking about armies of India and as well as China, they mainly prepared for these winters in the high altitude region, and China had released videos of swarms of quadruptor drones which are mainly used to supply rations and as well as other essential items to these personnel who are mainly deployed close to this border. And in line with this, here People's Liberation Army of China and this drone units, they have been regularly conducting exercise to fine tune their employment. Okay, so this is about this topic. And China, it is also not only doing this but also trying to reduce the dependence on the foreign origin sat phones communications and promoting the use of this indigenously built satellite communication system of China. So this is about this topic, and now let us try to see yesterday's questions. So first one is regarding Sufism. So various mystical tendencies and the movements in Islam, they are termed as Sufism. Consider the following statements regarding the features of Sufism. So Sufi path could be traversed only under the strict supervision of spiritual director, yes. And the center of activities of Sufi order is known as Kankas, yes. Kankas did not accept endowment and charity. Actually, the primary activities of this Kankas, it is nothing but accepting of endowment and as well as charity. So this statement is incorrect. So correct option will be 1 and 2 only. And the next question, it is regarding Delhi Sultanates. So rule of Delhi Sultanates was the beginning of new stage in the development of Indian architecture. So consider the following statements regarding architecture of Delhi Sultanates. So lintel and beams and corbelling are replaced by the true arches and walls, yes. Calligraphy and geometry foliation were the main features, yes. Gypsum was commonly used as a material for plastering building, yes. So here identify correct statements, that will be all the above. So now let us try to see today's questions. So first question is regarding Mansab, and second question is regarding which of the following or the major works deal with this temple architecture. So these are the two questions. Try to read these questions and let me know your answers in the comment box. So before seeing this today's newspaper PDF, so I want to make you an announcement here. Mains answer writing practice that we already started. So the registrations are going to be end by today evening. So if you want to join this course, so please contact us on this number 8074765513. Okay, 8074765513. And if you want to join this course, so please register in our website Rathod's IAS Academy. After registration, you can click on this courses list. There you can see a wide range of courses. So we are offering different subjects. If you want to take a single subject like geography, history, economy like that, you can also take the single subject. And for the buying of all these courses, you have to register in our website Rathod's IAS Academy, and there you can click on the course list for the wide range of courses. And if you have any queries, you can call on this number 8074765513. And now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So if you want this PDF, please join the Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. So this is our today's Hindu. Date is April 18th and it is Delhi edition. So first article, it is regarding retirement of the Supreme Court judges. Okay, so I discussed this topic in great detail. And next topic, it is about BRICS meet likely in June. So I discussed this topic. And if you move forward, please leave this city page. There is nothing much important here in this page. And if you see in this states page, you can see major fire at Sony Pat factory. So here you need to know about what can be the measures that can be taken to stop this fire accidents in industries, factories, that will come under part of disaster management. So if you move forward, you can see Odisha plans steps against snake bites. So snake bites kill more people than the natural disasters in Odisha. So because of this, now Odisha government, which is coming up with some standard operating procedure for the steps that should be taken against the snake bites. So if you are from the state of Odisha, you have to know what are the steps that are mainly going to be taken by your government, such that might be your interview question. And if you move forward, you can see forest fires posing threat to wild animals in Jharkhand. So here this forest fires is also very important topic in your disaster management. So you have to see what can be the mitigation step, prevention step that can be taken regarding this forest fires. So this will be also important from your disaster management, which comes under GS paper 3. And if you move forward in this editorial page, I discussed about this IMD. So if you are interested, you can also refer this article, which is talking about science and technology. And these two articles are not much important. So this is talking about the Sri Lanka's economic crisis. Already we studied this topic number of times. So if you want, you can go through this topic. And if you move forward in this text and context, I discussed about this enforcement directorate. I discussed about this national cyber security strategy. And if you move forward to this page, here you can see April 18th has been designated as UNESCO's International Day of Monuments and Sites. It is also called as World Heritage Day. Okay, so regarding this World Heritage Day, you have to know which are these UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India. So it mainly comes under your art and culture. Okay, which comes under GS paper 1. I discussed about this UAVs. And next one is SCBI arrest absconding accused in Nadia case. So here you need to know about what is CBI. So if you open R Lakshmikant, you can see this topic. And if you move further, you can see government working on financial inclusion. So I'm not talking about any political party here. So you need to focus on what is this financial inclusion. So what are the steps which are mainly taken by government to increase this financial inclusion? That is very important. And if you move forward, you can see Amit Rowe, WHO DG to visit India. Okay, Director General of WHO, that is World Health Organization, is going to visit India. So you have to know some facts regarding this WHO. And next one is India gets extension to send this Afghan aid. So Afghanistan, which is also mainly in economic crisis, and as well as it is mainly seeing for humanitarian assistance. So actually India, which already transported some 50,000 tons of wheat as humanitarian assistance, and the further will be mainly sent soon. Okay, so this is about Easter. Okay, Easter. So you have to know about some facts regarding this Easter festival as well. And next one is iridium phones thermal imagers detected. So actually these iridium phones and thermal imagers, they are mainly detected in Kashmir Valley. So because of this, it is one of cause of concern. You have to know what are the applications of this iridium phones and as well as thermal imagers. So it will be very important from your science and technology point of view. And these are some important articles that appear in this today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to Rathod's IS Academy and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. So if you have any queries, please call me on this number 8074765513. So please try to register in our website for the further updates of courses. So by this I am concluding. Thank you so much.